The story of Noah in the light of the Qur'an and Hadith. 1,000 years of patience. The narrative of Prophet Noah, peace be upon him, is one of the most compelling and frequently recounted stories in the Qur'an. Primarily detailed in Surah chapter 71 and Surah Hud chapter 11. Among others, it is an account that encapsulates the core themes of Islamic monotheism, tawhid, unwavering patience, the nature of prophecy, and the finality of divine justice. The story, which spans nearly 1,000 years, serves as a profound lesson for all generations. The call to monotheism, tawhid. Prophet Noah was sent to a people who had fallen into polytheism, shirk, worshipping idols that they had named Wad, Suwa, Yaguth, Yuk, and Nasser. These idols were initially statues of righteous men from previous generations, which Shaitan gradually led the people to venerate and eventually worship. The core message of Noah was simple and universal. Indeed, we sent Noah to his people, and he said, "O my people, worship Allah. You have no deity other than him. Indeed, I fear for you the punishment of a tremendous day." Surah Al-Araf 7:59. Noah spent an unprecedented amount of time delivering this message. The Quran explicitly states the duration of his mission, and he remained among them for 1,000 years minus 50 years. Surah Al-Ankabut 2:9-14. This period of 950 years of continuous preaching highlights Noah's extraordinary resilience, sabr, and dedication, making him an exemplary figure of the Ulul Azm prophets of great resolve. 2. Noah's patience and the people's rejection. The Islamic narrative emphasizes the varied and persistent methods Noah employed in his call, showcasing his dedication to fulfilling his prophetic duty. In Surah chapter 71, Noah describes his efforts to Allah. Public and private calls. He called them day and night, openly in large gatherings and secretly in private council. The reaction: instead of accepting the message, the people grew more defiant. They would put their fingers in their ears to block his words, cover themselves with their garments to avoid seeing him, and persist arrogantly in their disbelief. The taunt: they insulted him, calling him a madman, a mere human being, and someone surrounded by only the lowest and weakest members of society. They mockingly challenged him to bring forth the punishment he threatened. The people's constant rejection led Noah, after centuries of tireless effort, to make a final plea to his Lord. A moment of transition from gentle persuasion to seeking divine justice. The command to build the Ark al-Safina. When all hope for the guidance of his people was lost, Allah revealed to Noah that no one else among them would believe. The divine command then came to construct a massive vessel, the Ark, and construct the Ark under our observation and according to our inspiration. And do not address me concerning those who have wronged. Indeed, they are to be drowned. Surah Hud 11:37. The act of building the Ark was itself a test of faith and a final public spectacle of mockery. Noah, a prophet known for preaching, not carpentry, was building a large wooden ship far away from the sea, and every time a company of his people passed by him, they mocked him. He said, "If you ridicule us, then we will ridicule you just as you ridicule us." Surah Hud 11:38. This construction served to definitively separate the believers from the disbelievers and prepare the believers for the coming salvation. 4. The tragedy of Noah's family. A crucial and heart-wrenching element of the Quranic account often cited as a major difference from other traditions is the fate of Naz, immediate family members who refuse to believe. The disbelieving wife. The Quran makes reference to Naz's wife, who was not among the believers. Surah At-Tahrim 66:10. The disbelieving son Canaan, as the water began to surge. Naz saw his son standing apart and called out to him. And Nuh called to his son who was apart from them, "O my son, come aboard with us and do not be with the disbelievers." But he said, "I will take refuge on a mountain to protect me from the water." Nuh said, "There is no protector today from the decree of Allah, except for whom he grants mercy." And the waves came between them, and he was among the drowned. Surah Hud 11:42-43. Nuh, in his capacity as a father, appealed to Allah, asking why his son was not saved, as the son was still part of his family. Allah firmly corrected him, stating that the son was not of the righteous family promised salvation because his actions were wicked. This illustrates a key principle in Islam, bloodtaisari, superseded by the bond of faith, and righteousness, the deluge and divine justice. Once the ark was complete, the command came for Nuh to gather the believers and a pair of every species, male and female, onto the vessel, until when our command came and the oven overflowed, we said, "Load upon the ark 2 of every kind of pair and your family, except those about whom the word has proceeded, and include whoever has believed." And Surah Hud, jam 11:40. The flood commenced when water erupted from the earth, symbolized by the overflowing oven, and poured down relentlessly from the sky. The Quran describes this catastrophic event as the fulfillment of a fixed decree. So we opened the gates of the heaven with pouring rain, and we caused the earth to burst with springs, and the waters met for a matter already decreed. Surah Al-Qamar. The ark sailed as a symbol of salvation and divine mercy for the righteous, ultimately resting upon Mount Judy. Surah Hud 11:44. Vi. Lessons from the Hadith and prophetic tradition. While the primary source is the Quran, the Hadith reinforces the narrative and emphasizes Nuh's elevated status. Intercession on Judgment Day. In the famous Hadith of intercession reported in Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim, Nuh is one of the Prophet's people. Approach on the Day of Judgment to intercede with Allah. He apologizes, directing them to Prophet Ibrahim, stating he cannot intercede because he once made a powerful prayer against his people, which makes him wary of asking too much from Allah again. This emphasizes the weight and finality of his curse against his disbelieving community. A prophet of great resolve. The Prophet Muhammad PBUH confirmed Nuh's status as one of the great messengers, stressing his unparalleled patience in the face of persistent adversity. Conclusion. Nuh's enduring legacy. The story of Nuh is not just a historical account of a flood. It is an eternal narrative embedded within the framework of prophethood, patience, and accountability. Nuh's 950-year struggle teaches the believer that the path of truth is often long and lonely, but perseverance is rewarded. It affirms the principle that true kinship is based on faith, not lineage. Ultimately, the story of Nuh stands as a solemn warning that divine justice is inevitable for those who reject clear guidance after being shown mercy for nearly a millennium.